Okay, so I have my stuffing. I took it out of the pan and I put it in my bowl. The baguette, we were probably wondering about that. I cubed it up into pieces about that big, and I'm gonna put it in my Cuisinart. Do you need to use a baguette? No, you can use regular breadcrumbs. I like fresh bread. When I do my crab cakes or I do my stuffings, I use fresh bread, and I think it makes a big difference. People always like my crab cakes and my stuffing, so we'll see. I notice I haven't added the crab meat yet. That's going to go in the very last, okay? And I'm not going to use this whole can. And by the way, this can was like $20, so you can get a lot of use out of it. So I put the baguette in my Cuisinart with just a regular blade, and I'm going to pulse it until it becomes breadcrumbs. Okay? I have my breadcrumbs. They're not fine breadcrumbs. They're almost like the size of panko. I'm gonna take about half of them and dump it in there and see where I'm at. I don't want it to get too. I don't like my things like bready, so I try to keep even my crab cakes. I want you to see the crab meat and in the stuffing. I want you to see the stuffing. See, this is already incorporating in all that liquid that we had. Oh, sorry, you can see. I mixed it right in with the stuffing. Now, in my vegetables that I use for this was just celery and onions and garlic. You can put in red pepper if you like. Some people put in poblano peppers or jalapeno pepper. There's carrots you could put in here, but right now this is a really good consistency. I don't want it any tighter than that. Right now it's not holding together. You want this to be able to hold together. So I'm going to go ahead and add about half of this can. And you want to be careful with this. You don't want to break it up because then people aren't going to see the really nice chunks of crab meat. So I added about half of the crab meat, and we'll see where that gets us. If we need to add more breadcrumbs, then we will. If not, then a lot of cooking is kind of goes by feel and taste. So right here, that looks pretty good. Looks like it's starting to hold together. Okay, so it looks really nice. It's holding together nicely. Nice ball. That's what we want because it's how we're going to make our stuffing. Let me put this off to the side. I'm listening to my rice and it sounds like it is done. I don't hear any more boiling. I'm going to take off the lid. Yep. And you can see it's got the little holes where the steam's coming out. That's perfect. This is when I want to add the half of the green onion that I saved. I want to add that. I want to add some peas. Yes, they're still frozen. That's okay because it's going to cool off the rice. I'm turning my stove right off to cool off the rice. And I added about maybe a quarter cup of peas. This is done. And we're just going to mix that right in. Oh, it's nice and light. Look at that. It looks beautiful. And I'm going to leave it on the heat with the lid back on it. At the end, if you want to add a little tablespoon of butter, it gives a nice creamier texture. But this looks fantastic. So now I'm going to show you how to do the shrimp part. Hi guys. And I'm going to start with the 1620s. These are the bigger ones. So all I'm going to do is slice through, not all the way. I just want to kind of glide my knife through like this. And there's two ways that we can do this. One is if you just lay them out flat like this and put the stuffing on top, which I kind of like better. And there's another way, and I'll show you that way in a second. So I'm gonna get all these done. I'll do one more. Here's a smaller one. Again, going right down the seam on the top of the shrimp, not cutting all the way through. And so it's nice and flat. See? One more. I'm going to show you one more time with this big one. So here's the shrimp. Here's the top. Here's the tail. Just going to cut through. Not all the way. So it opens up. If you cut through all the way, it's okay. Don't worry about it. But you can either lay it flat. Okay. Let me show you the Now the final step for the stuffed shrimp is basically just stuffing them. So here, I'll put the camera down so you can see. Here's the smaller ones. I lied. I think they're 3540s, not 2130s. I don't remember what size they are, but they're smaller. I love the bigger ones. They're a lot easier to work with. So there's two ways to do it. You can either go like this. You make a ball. Take the stuffing. You make a ball like this. This is a little fancier looking. And you just take the tail and you tuck it over on top. So it kind of looks like that. Can you see that? Let me see if I can hold it up closer for you. And it's not too bready. That can tell the stuffing is going to really kind of fall apart when you use your fork. You don't want it to be too doughy. I like it like this. So instead of making it like a round ball, I make it more into a cylinder. So it lays out like this. It gets more stuffing on the shrimp. Let me see if I can hold that up for you. Fall apart on me. Okay. So it's longer, you get more stuffing, and when you take your fork, you can cut right through it and cut into the shrimp. So that's how I'm going to finish mine off. You can do it either way. Okay guys, so almost done. Now I'm just going to blanch off the asparagus, and then I want to throw it in the oven. Right now I have my oven at 450 degrees on roast, because I want to give the asparagus a little bit of color before I serve it. And this we're like down to the end, so this is going to be the easy part. The shrimp is all done. I'll show you what I do with this next, but it's all on a sheet tray, all lined up. So that's ready to go. And so for the asparagus, I'm just going to get a saucepan of water boiling and add salt. And with my asparagus, all I'm going to do is I keep one rubber band on. I know some people peel it. If you want to be really fancy, you can go ahead and peel the bottoms. But all I do is the bottom, so it's all nice and uniform. I take off about 2 inches on the bottom, so I have stalks like that big. Okay? And that's going to go in my salted water, and I'm just going to blanch it. It's going to be nice and crunchy. Okay? So don't overcook it. Just want to give it a little bit of color. The salt will bring out the green in the asparagus too, by the way. Okay, so I rinsed off my asparagus. I rinsed all the coronavirus off it, in case anybody else touched it. My water's boiling. Just going to drop it in there for a couple seconds. You're going to see it's going to turn a really nice green. Just want to give it some color and get it started. My oven right now, it's cool. It's at 450. It's ready to go. The water, not too salty. We're going to salt and pepper the asparagus before we throw it in the oven, but right now it's getting pretty good. It's only been in here not even a minute. So I'm just going to take this out, lay it out on my sheet tray, and then drizzle it with some olive oil, salt, pepper, and a little bit of garlic powder, and that's it. You can use Montreal steak seasoning. That's also really good, and then it's going to go right in the oven. All right, so final step before plate up. I'm going to drizzle some olive oil over my shrimp. So here, I'll let you see it. Nice healthy dose. Put a little bit down on your sheet tray before you do this so it doesn't stick on the bottom, but it shouldn't anyways. Okay. Shot of white wine. Okay, a little sprinkling of cayenne pepper, just for a little kick. Should have a nice kick with the Old Bay in it, and then some paprika just to give it some color. And then that is ready to go in the oven. My asparagus is cooking. My rice is done. The only thing left we have to do is cook this and plate up. This will cook for about maybe 10 minutes at the most. The shrimp's going to turn pink. The stuffing's going to change color. and it'll get a little golden brown, and it'll be ready to go. Okay. I also like to put a little bit of white wine on the bottom of the tray, just so there's liquid on the bottom of the tray. So it looks kind of like, if you can see the liquid moving around. Oh, sorry, almost forgot. Got my lemon juice. Put that over the top of the shrimp, and that is done. All right, last step before we plate. Turning my oven down to regular bake, 350. Taking my asparagus out. It's got some really nice color. It's going to be nice and crispy, and it has a really good color. I'm going to leave the oven open for a couple seconds just to get some of the heat out, because it was at a high temperature. Oh, sorry. And I'm going to put my shrimp in there just to get it warmed up. Now I'm kind of like in the middle of the rack, in the middle of the oven. Just let it open for a couple more seconds, and I'm going to close it, and we'll cook it off. Like I said, about maybe 10 minutes. The shrimp will turn pink. The stuffing will get a nice little color to it. If it's not getting color to it, you always can throw it on broil at the end and give it a nice little crisp up at the end. And that's it. Last step, we're done. Okay, the shrimp, I turned it up to broil at the last minute, just to brown the tops. I'm going to keep the oven on. I'll take my shrimp out. Looks great. Got some nice color to it, I'll show you. The shrimps have lifted up off of the sheet tray. I'm going to keep that over here on the stove. The reason I left the oven on is because I want to throw my asparagus back in just to get it heating. It's still on broil. So I'm going to first plate my shrimp. I like the bigger ones, so I'm going to plate those first. Oh yeah, that's falling apart. That's perfect. Very flaky, nice light stuffing. I'm going to do 3 of these. Okay, I'm going to take my rice. This is still hot because it's pretty dense. The souffle cup I was using before, you can use something like this, or another little cup, or even like a teacup or something. I fill my cup with this rice. You can see the steam still coming off of it. So this is, like I said, the plate up. I'm packing it in there, nice and tight. Okay, so it's all packed in there. I'm going to take it. Here's my plate. Here's my 3 shrimp. Like that. And it comes out. This is called a timbale. You can do it with all kinds of things, vegetables. And then I'm going to grab my asparagus out of the oven, give it a quick heating. This has some really nice color to it. It's got the green, it's got the little crispy brown on it from being in the broiler. And just going to grab some of it and put it right here next to the timbale and the shrimp. Okay, and then I have, all I did was I took a lemon wedge, I cut it in half, I sprinkled half of it with paprika, and it's going to go just like that right on top. And at the end, for a little finishing touch, you can take the juice that was on the sheet tray and just drizzle it over the top of your shrimp, and you are good. So, bon appetit. I hope you like this this recipe. I know some of you aren't seafood eaters, but I mean, that's a pretty plate if you want to set that out for someone for a dinner. And it was pretty easy. All in all, if you have your stuffing made and you stuff your shrimp and your asparagus is cut and your rice is made, I mean, it really doesn't take a lot of time. So if you pre-do some of this, like the stuffing, have it in your fridge, just stuff your shrimp and then get it in the oven, and you know, your dinner could be like 30 minutes. and you could plate it up. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you tomorrow. I'm going to do another really gourmet dinner tomorrow, and it's beef, so I hope everyone will like that.